Man, I'm just making me a little quick comment on, the recent things that's been going on in this country. If you don't know, you probably been had your head up your ass or whatever. But I'm talking about the 9 people who were killed in South Carolina by the young white man who evidently, according to Fox News and other conservative media outlets, is just wayward or got a mental problem. And it has nothing to do with all the racial slurs that he was spitting out while he was gunning down black people and saying that they taking over our country, and he had to do this and he didn't want to do it because they were so nice, but he had to carry out his mission. He feels like somehow he's doing this for a just cause. I just want to say this, that I was watching Greta Van Susteren and Geraldo Rivera, which I don't watch Fox News for news. I watch it to see what kind of game they're going to try to perpetrate and what kind of spin they're going to put on to something to try to make it palatable to people with common sense. But right now, what they just reaching a viewership that's not a demographic that readily identifies with myself. They're Caucasian. Now, they want to say, where in the world would he ever get an idea that black people are raping and murdering and trying to take over this country? Now, whether you care for Obama or don't, everybody knows that Fox News is a proponent for going against the grain on everything Obama has done in this country. They have told white people that the affordable health care is going to bankrupt us. They want to collect all your all of your DNA and everything about you and line you up to put you in a death panel and make you wait on organs and transplants. That the Mexicans are coming across the border and taking all your jobs. They rapers and murderers too. Donald Trump just said that the other day when he announced his candidacy. Somehow that Obama's giving away the store to black people and we want all the welfare. All the Middle Eastern and dark-skinned Arab-looking people are here to blow us all up. But they won't call this terrorism. It's sewn in the fabric of this country that people were lynched and terrorized and churches were bombed. This same church has a history of being bombed, burnt out. But they won't call this terrorism. And it's tough to be a person of color in this country where some people have been conditioned to automatically see you as a suspect or a threat. That every time that an unarmed citizen who's dark like myself is gunned down or choked out by the police officers, they automatically align themselves up in the defense of that police officer. Trayvon may have smoked some joints when he was in school or might have threw up a hand sign that could be a gang. Mike Brown strong-armed some cigarillos. Eric Gardner was selling loose cigarettes. The girl at the pool party was a little too mouthy with authority, so she deserved to be slung on the ground. Now, that whole week, it wasn't a radio station, it wasn't a TV station, it wasn't reporting on some black teenagers who crashed a pool party. That was all over the news. But it takes them 3-4 hours to even release any information about the suspect, what color he was, what color the victim was, what the possible motivation was for this crime. And it's like they already trying to line up a defense. And for people who say that I'm ranting or I'm mad, you got to understand that there's motherfuckers in this country that are celebrating what that young man did. There are people right now that are probably trying to send money to his defense and probably money to his parents or whoever. And they're probably trying to get him off with some kind of reasonable insanity or something like that. Instead of just saying, hey, this man was gunning down people and actually saying he had to do it because they were black. He had to carry on his mission. So that's the death penalty if you ask me. The Boston bomber, he got his. You know what I mean? Swift justice. You know why? Because he ain't from here. He not white. That's just what that is. And Facebook, I don't give a damn. I done told you before, I don't try to comfort and bend myself or contort myself to make none of you motherfuckers comfortable. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna tell you how it is. Church folks, white folk, black folk, I don't give a damn. If I see bullshit, I'm calling it right where I see it. And that's what this is. There's a lot of white people in this country who are not inherently racist. I wouldn't even put that on you. That's like saying another race is all ignorant or dumb. I wouldn't put that on you because there's some good white people in this country. Look in the mirror, search your soul, and stop giving your consent with your silence and looking the other way, because this is one that's playing on your team, and this is something he did, is giving you a black eye and making all of y'all look bad. The same way I see knuckleheads walking around here with their drawers showing at the bus stop or in the grocery store, it disgusts me, and I will speak out against it. Why is it you're not speaking out against this? Your silence is deafening. People are noticing that, and people can see that. So let me break it down for all of you folks who don't seem to understand that racism still exists and how it can manifest itself like a cancer in our society because other people are willing to look the other way when it's going on. And they really always willing to try to see if the black person who was gunned down did something, if he reached for his waistband, if it was just, you can't be too innocent in this country if you're a certain color for some reason. And it has a lot to do with what the news is purporting. Every time Obama comes on and speaks, it could be a State of the Union, it could be anything. Every other news station is carrying this coverage and saying live or happening now. You flip over to Fox and there's a flashing sign at the bottom that says alert, which ain't nothing but a triggering mechanism to make people think that they have something to be alarmed about because this man that they have delegitimized said he wasn't born here, said he ain't even American, say he's Muslim, he's all these other things that you motherfuckers have been saying, and then have nerve enough to say, I don't know where he get this idea. Man, get off the bullshit. I'm gonna break it down for all you bobbleheads that don't seem to know what's going on. You know who you are. I see you side swiping on my posts. I know all kind of jug mechanisms you try to put. Let me tell you something. We'll break it down for you. Let's break it down into two teams. You got whites and you got blacks. And let's say they playing in something like the NBA Finals or Super Bowl. Now, if your team commits a foul that allows you to go ahead and score and win that championship, I don't believe that you're going to go in your pocket and pull out a challenge flag and say, hey, referee, I think we got over this time. You need to take this score back. Hell no, you ain't going to do it. You know why? Because you are winning. Stop the silence and start calling it what it is. When you in your circles at work or wherever and you got somebody that's getting a little heavy with the jokes, you know the difference between a joke and you know the difference between hate. Call it out. That's all I'm asking you to do. Don't look in the mirror and feel guilty for the history of this country. Look in the mirror and feel guilty for not calling out the motherfuckers that's carrying on that history. That's what's going on in this country, man. And people like myself are getting fed up with it. I'm tired of praying. I'm tired of trying to forgive and turn the other cheek just to get hit in that hole too. I'm tired of it, man. It's bullshit, and you need to call it out wherever you see it as bullshit.